Alright, guys, so it's 2026, and I bet there's a lot of people out there who want to start something new. You want to start, say, the gym, your fitness journey. And you get this motivation because it's the beginning of the month, beginning of the year, and you're going, and then all of a sudden we hit February. You start to not really be feeling it much anymore, and then we hit March, and then April, yada yada yada. And then a lot of people start to slip on their diets, on their fitness journey, on whatever it is. And the thing is when it comes to making a change in your life, like a permanent change, you have to shift your identity. So as you start this fitness journey, you have to shift your identity into the one who loves fitness, who enjoys taking care of themselves, who enjoys eating well. Because if you don't do that and you stay in the identity of the old version of you who hated it, who hated working out, who hated eating well, you're going to lose the motivation and you're going to continue to look at yourself that way. But when you shift, what makes the permanent change is when you shift your identity into the person who shows up for themselves every day and goes to the gym after motivation is dead. The person who picks up the fruit at night instead of the candy bar. Shifting the identity is what shifts your reality and what keeps you in alignment with that healthiest version of yourself. So how do we permanently shift identity? We, like I said, you show up every day or every week as the person who works out. You are that person. Once you start day one, you are now that person. And you have to look at yourself as that person and embody yourself as that person. The thing is when we start something new, we allow the 3D to, we give our power to the 3D, which is everything outside of us, what our body looks like, what our bank account looks like, what, our pantry looks like. We give our energy to everything outside of us instead of within. And when we change within, that exterior will start to change. So you change, you start to identify yourself as the person who's the fittest version of yourself, no matter what that mirror looks like. And that will shift the identity over time, because it takes time for the 3D to manifest, but you shift that identity into the version of that. And then the 3D has no other option but to catch up after you continue to show up for yourself daily. And we start to quit when we don't see fast results, instant results in the 3D, and we give up. We lose the motivation and we give our power to the 3D results instead of just continuing to show up as the version of yourself who already has it, who's already fit. No matter what that mirror looks like, you continue to show up, because that's where you will get your consistency. That's where consistency comes in after motivation is dead. That's how you continue to show up, one foot in front of the other. So I hope this helps somebody. If you're starting something new, you want to see new results this year, doing whatever you want to do, that's how you shift and create long-lasting change, instead of, this happening just for a month or two and then you lose the motivation and then it's gone. And if you need help staying aligned with your goals this year, if you need help staying motivated, check me out. There's a mentorship program. I will help you stay accountable with your goals, stay in alignment, and stay focused. That's the most important thing when it comes to making a change in your life, is having somebody hold you accountable. And a lot of the times we're surrounded by people who are basically our old versions of ourselves, our old identities, but we want to make that shift. It's hard to stay shifting or in alignment with that new identity when you're surrounded by old versions of yourself, essentially. So get yourself a mentor, whether it's me or somebody else, to help you stay in alignment if you feel that it hasn't worked for you before, or if you feel vulnerable during the process. Check me out down below.